Blah, 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 blah. You didn't believe in me enough.
I believe in you, Sarge. You can do this.
Yeah, come on. Take 2. Hello there, Wastelanders, and welcome to episode 8 of the PIPCAST, a Fallout and gaming-based podcast hosted by myself, BADCompanySarge, and Caedo Genesis.
Hello.
And we don't have a special guest today, just for 2 of us, so we'll have plenty of topics to talk about between ourselves, but before we get onto that, we have the tip of the day, which is guides and Google. If you're struggling with something in a game, take a look on Google or YouTube, and there'll always be a guide made by someone. Possibly myself or Caedo, because we make lots of guides, but also by tons of other people. There's so many guides out there. Like, I've been using guides today for games I didn't know much about. It's really helpful. So, search for guides.
However,
apparently
Prima Games has gone out of business earlier this year, so there will be less guides when it comes to book form, and more guides when it comes, well, probably, I don't know.
No, you'll probably need internet access for guides nowadays.
The most available guides will be made by people like us.
Yep. I was going to say, we've got a whole bunch of stuff we're talking about, such as Fallout 76 had their Ever Upwards update. There's Rage 2 releasing in like 2 days from when this comes out, which is really, really close. The discless Xbox One S, which is an incredibly difficult thing to say. Detective Pikachu, tons of other stuff, and, as our little Fallout topic, what weapons we personally would like to add into the Fallout franchise.
Yes.
It's going to be quite fun.
A lot of exciting topics here.
Yeah. We've got a surprising amount of stuff to talk about. I was really worried at first we wouldn't, but now we've got tons of stuff. So, I'm going to start off with the Fallout 76 stuff, but I will keep it fairly brief. So, Ever Upwards launched on Tuesday, and it gave us a sizable amount of content in like 1 day. And on top of that, a lot of the content is stuff that can be dragged out for a long time, or might be impossible to complete if you're Caedo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Close to it.
There's some problems where you have to complete. So there's a whole bunch of challenges and stuff included. You need to get a camera from one of the previous updates in order to do a bunch of challenges to complete certain objectives. So unless you've got the camera, which is a right pain to get, you can't do some of the stuff in this update, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. So essentially, for each of the Pioneer Scout badges, because you're joining the Pioneer Scouts to get a super special backpack, you need to do so many challenges. And the first one for the Tadpole rank is 3 challenges, but I counted 5 of those challenges I can't complete because one of them is missing a item in the game.
Yep.
And 4 other ones require the camera, which is acquired through a random encounter.
Yeah.
So I'm left with, it's a total of like 7 or 9?
9.
So I'm left with like 4 that are like difficult to do. The hunting one I can handle, it'll just take some time. The archery one I'm just about done with, and the hacking one is probably what I'm gonna go for, because there's nothing else really that I can do without the camera.
No,
that's such a pain.
It really
the
is.
The cooking one, that would be a mess to try to do.
The challenges all are quite difficult. Like, I am apologising at this point if I sound particularly dead at any point, because I basically just ruined all of my sleep schedule to get my challenges done, get the backpack unlocked, make a video on it, and then try and do more of the challenges, because my original plan was to complete all of the Tadpole ones and all of the Possum ranked ones, and then make like a comprehensive guide on how to do them all. That is not happening. They are a nightmare.
Yep.
Because
sure are.
One other thing, as well as all the stuff Caedo just mentioned about having to do like cooking and hunting and launching nukes and hacking and all of that stuff, you also have to pass a theory exam on each of the different subjects you're given. And there's subjects like hunting, like atomic energy, like machinery, like leather work, like archery, just all various different stuff. And some of the questions are like quite Fallout based. There's one which is like, this question is sponsored by Cram. What's the best food stuff you can buy? Answer's gonna be Cram. But there's nice fun ones like that. But there's also stuff which a lot of people wouldn't know, like Caedo. Do you know what a ballista is?
Oh, a ballista?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a giant crossbow.
Yeah, that's a thing which isn't, I would say, common knowledge. but is, like, possible to know. There's also stuff about, like, nuclear physics. So if you weren't paying attention in physics at school, you won't be able to answer what the energy charge is on a proton or whatever like that.
However, we should link this to the answer key that that Reddit user Koger on Controls put up in the Fallout 76 subreddit. He created a whole cheat sheet of all the questions and their answers.
Yep.
And that kind of jumps off of the tip of the day.
Yeah.
Also, to Google things or like checking resources kind of thing, because the 76 community is still like on top of it when it comes to like new content coming out and helping each other out in that respect. And I enjoy that aspect of 76 because it hasn't gotten to the jaded level I was expecting yet, but like me personally, I've gotten more frustrated than anything about 76 right now or lately. So
yeah, I know.
And that's mainly because I just can't in a fair amount of time complete the new content.
Yep.
And move on to something else. Like I have to dedicate a whole crap ton of hours, and I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah. It's like I literally make these videos full time, and I'm struggling. That's how bad it is. Anyway, that's probably enough about the specific Pioneer Scout stuff, because there was other stuff in the update. You can scrap down legendary weapons and items, which is just something kind of cool and handy, and much better than having to either drop them or sell them for like a tiny number of caps. Like the actual value of legendary items has always been terrible in game terms.
You can get scripts for the legendary vendor.
Legendary script. Yeah, and that's coming, I think, Thursday? Yeah, it'll be out on Thursday, so that's not far away either.
Sweet.
But if you are wanting to sell legendaries in the game, there's now player vending, which is might actually be my favourite thing so far.
Yeah.
Because now you can fast travel to other people's camps, see what they've built, and just buy stuff that they put in their shop and which they've set the value for. And it's really quite cool. I've seen some awesome camps that people have built. It's really good, and something I actually asked to be in the game. Like I specifically asked for a vending hub, like 6 months ago, I want to say. It was something I wanted to see, but now we've got just player vending. It's cool. It's good.
Well, I did want to say that my camp is more catered to like vending already. Was like at the beginning. I had a truck with containers in it that was a world object, so I could throw like a whole bunch of junk in those containers and be like, hey, take what you need, leave what you don't, like kind of thing. Or take loot, leave loot is what the message was. And that worked pretty well to start with. But after the player vending came out, I was just like, I just add this to where that sign was and have an actual vending machine instead. And what I found sold really well was the lined Brotherhood of Steel officer suits under armor.
Yeah.
That's what I've been able to sell the most. And I did sell one serum as well for 2,000 caps, which was kind of great. So it's pretty great. It's nice to have that kind of thing. Oh, and your scavenger run just went up. Cool.
Yeah, it did. We just have videos upload at random points. That's how it works.
Scheduling.
That scavenger run actually has just been uploading like before we started recording. It was supposed to go up the day before the day we're recording this, but Ever Upwards has pushed me so far back that it's just got recorded this morning and uploaded now.
Wow.
Yeah, it really knocked me back a long way. That's almost it for Fallout 76 specific stuff we'll be talking about right now. One final, very small thing is that a mystery has just appeared in Appalachia. There are weird Vault-Tec boxes near Morgantown and near a relay tower that's also near Morgantown. And Caedo didn't know about them at all until I mentioned it just before we started recording. They are that secret and weird.
I am oblivious.
Yep, and I'm not much better informed because they don't give away much.
And I've been playing other things too.
Yeah. To be fair, I only jumped on today to scrap down some legendaries and check out those boxes. They're basically just like these black and orange Vault-Tec boxes, and they've got two different holotapes in them. The name of the person has been redacted, but the first thing you hear is like the subtitles show sounds of man crawling out of box, and they've just like plummeted into the ground. So it almost comes across as these have been shot out of the sky, hit the ground, and someone's just opened it up and walked out and left the holotape behind. It's weird, and we don't really know what's happening yet. By the time this comes out, all mysteries could have been solved. Probably not.
Possibly.
But who knows? I quite like
the 76 community is very diligent, and also they have ways of data mining where they just find out like what things do.
Yeah.
And I have contact with one of those people, so
yeah, there's likely already a lot of stuff. I have heard some behind the scenes data mine stuff that might be in conjunction with it, but it all tends to be very much like, oh, this could be it, or it could be something else, or it might not happen at all. Anyway, enough of that. Caedo, what are we going to talk about next?
The Iceborne trailer that came out for Monster Hunter World.
Woo.
Over time, Monster Hunter World has been an amazing game the past several years, because they've constantly been adding updates and crossover updates and like all kinds of cool stuff. They would add, you know, a bigger, beefier version of one of the Elder Dragons and add an armor set to go along with it, or reintroduce an older monster, or all kinds of crazy stuff. And they just released their Witcher 3 crossover content for PC, where you actually get to play as Geralt in the Monster Hunter world. And it's freaking awesome, because they kind of borrowed some of the interface stuff too. So like the quest thing comes up on screen, and like, dude, like they go all out with these crossovers. And they had the Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 14 or 15 one, where they released there was a Moogle involved and a giant crystal, and also Cactar started showing up in like the desert area. And one of the big beasts that showed up was a behemoth.
Yeah,
you would have to fight a behemoth, and it was actually ended up being one of the hardest creatures in the game, understandably so. So Iceborne is the upcoming very large expansion for Monster Hunter World. Is obviously going to be free for the people that already bought the game. Capcom's like on fire right now. I'm just going to mention that. Like, they are knocking it out of the park in comparison to a lot of other developers. But it's going to be obviously a Arctic region. It's going to have some warmer spots in it too, like highland, possibly hot springs and stuff like that. But it's mainly going to be nice and frosty.
Yeah.
And it's going to have monsters that live in that region. I think they revealed like 5 of them, or something like that. Like, it's going to be a pretty sizable thing on top of the creatures that are there already. And they introduced or showed off a couple of new mechanics you have with your slinger, which is your little crossbow on your wrist, where you can fire it mid combo, which was not a thing. And also there will be a claw on it to where you can mount the monster without having to jump like off a ledge or off of climbing something. If you play the game, it adds a whole new dynamic to combat.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of preparing or conditions that need to be met in order to pull off certain moves.
Yeah.
But this just cancels out the whole thing and just grapple onto their face and jump on. It's fine. And then stab them in the head. It's great.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer, and it looked cool.
Yeah.
Just because I don't play Monster Hunter World. I've seen like people streaming it and stuff. There's one streamer I watch who streamed it like for a long time, a while back, but hasn't anymore. Actually, there's 2 streamers I watch who stream it occasionally. So I have seen a fair bit of it, but obviously watching the trailer, I wasn't sure exactly what was new and what was already in the game. But I was just like, oh, cool. You just like kill monsters. That's the game.
Yep. That's exactly the game, and it does it so well. I think that the name might be too basic for a lot of people, but that's exactly what the game is. They just make it extremely fun.
Yeah.
And the monsters, the characters in the game, like the story characters and stuff like that, aren't nearly as important of characters as the monsters themselves. Like, the monsters themselves are characters in the game.
Yeah.
And you have to learn like how they move, what they do, how much damage they do with that one freaking shoulder check.
Yeah.
Like, it depends on the monster, obviously, but it's just a heck of a lot of fun, and it's cooperative.
Whoa.
Like, you can have a 4-man squad, and I've been playing with both Nelsar and a couple other people I've known for a while, that I played online games with ages ago. We've just been having a blast fighting, doing like a Elder Dragon Siege, which is a really, really big dragon, and you have to stop them. That's pretty much it. That's all I got.
Alrighty, I was trying to think of if I could have an awesome segue lined up there at the end, but I can't. So instead, let's just completely shift topic to Final Fantasy VII. Oh, do the segue then. No, well,
Okay.
it's fine, just segue perfectly.
You know how I was talking about Final Fantasy monsters and Monster Hunter?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Square Enix happened to drop a trailer of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. How about that, Sarge?
Oh, wow, well, wouldn't you know it, I happened to be playing Final Fantasy VII, the old version, just before we started recording today.
You mean the complete version?
The complete version? You mean the one that has the game in it?
The one that has the game in it that's not episodic.
Yeah, why would it be episodic? It's just a game. One game that everyone in the world has probably played because it's so famous.
The remake's going to be episodic.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was already like, I'm probably not going to worry about buying it because it looks like it's got the more modern Final Fantasy combat, which I personally am not interested in a Final Fantasy game. Like, the Final Fantasy games I like are 7, 8, and 9, which all just have the active term battle kind of system where you just take your turns, you attack. There's like some skill and stuff to it, obviously, but it's not like super active and jumpy about and you're just like flailing everywhere. It's very much a numbers game, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I personally didn't really have too much of a problem with it because I played Crisis Core, and that's one of the best spin-offs, I think, of any Final Fantasy game, if not the best. And that was a more active combat type thing. So like I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
But of course there's an audience for like the old school stuff too, because I love the turn-based stuff too. When I go back and hear that battle music and the transition on the world map and stuff like that. Like
so cool.
That gets me every time, but that's also nostalgia talking.
Yeah.
And I guess if we want turn-based, we're gonna have to go move to turn-based strategy games because it's becoming less and less of a thing in RPGs.
Yeah, I do think it's probably a smart move for them to change up the combat system because there's not that many people nowadays who I feel would really love to play Final Fantasy VII just with updated graphics who wouldn't also just be willing to play the old game. You've got to kind of search for a bit of a new audience, and because this is a bit more animated and a bit more action-based, and also looks really good, it means it will attract new people who have heard about this game, and a lot of people who might not have been born when it came out, and may have never played it, will suddenly be like, oh, I heard about this from, like, my parents, because Caedo, everyone's getting old.
Why'd you say that?
Yeah.
Sarge...
Trying to remember when.
That?
To be fair, I think I'm not sure if I was born when it came out. I can't remember when it came out. So
97.
Oh yeah, I was born before it came out. Okay. Oh, I thought I was younger than I was. No, overall, yeah, everyone's getting old. So yeah, it's got to attract like the younger generation a bit, hopefully as well, so they get to see the awesome story because Final Fantasy VII has a cool story, and also some of the best lines ever and best quests ever, and there was the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children with the best line from a movie ever, which is, come on Caedo, do you know it?
No.
Dilly dally shilly schmally.
No, that's a stupid line. That's the dumbest line, Sarge.
That's what I'm expecting from this remake. Honestly, I'll give this remake 10 out of 10 if at some point Tifa just goes up to Cloud and goes dilly dally shilly schmelly. That's all I want.
Oh my goodness. No.
Oh. So yeah, I'm super hyped and looking forward to it just for that reason.
Yeah. Okay, so I am not at all like excited because I know, and I've told Kite this as well, that even if I am disappointed with the remake, I already know the best version of the game is out for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's no replacing the original game.
Yep.
And even though they call it a remake, that the original game is what gave us that feeling. And the remake is also riding on that excitement. So it's because it's been so long too. It may be a similar scenario, and even it's got one of the lead people directing it, the same person that directed, I'm pretty sure anyway, Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was a disappointment for me. So like my expectations are even lower because he was split between those two projects. I forget the guy's name, Tetsuya Nomura, I think.
Could be
that he was split between Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is why neither of them have come out in a timely manner, I would guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this remake has been teased for years now, so
yeah,
it's like when I heard about the trailer coming up, I was like, I didn't even bother watching it until like before we started recording, just because I was like, yeah, I'll be out in a few years. I'll get hyped then.
But here's the thing, though, too. Like, I get concerned for the developers too when they're making something episodic, because that means they're going to be working on the same game for multiple years.
Oh yeah.
And if the beginning of it, like say the first quote unquote episode gets released and nobody likes it, or a very small amount of people like it, they still have to execute the rest of that game.
Well,
or just drop the whole project and leave everyone even more disappointed.
Yeah, here's the thing. I feel like it might be episodic because they don't want to do the full game straight away, and they don't want to risk it all, so instead they'll put out this first episode, and all of the footage we've seen appears to be, like, really early. Like, I am not...
Just Midgar.
Yeah, I am not far into the game on my playthrough, and I've done pretty much everything in the trailer, it seems. Yeah, early stuff, they'll just get that done. I reckon they'll make it look amazing, and there'll be some really good stuff in that, but it might not appeal to the people who actually want to play the game, so it could do badly. If it happens, I estimate they might do an episode 2, might just scrap it straight away. Just might not be worth it.
Would that be, like, that would be so disheartening, like, demoralizing even for longtime fans.
Yeah.
Be like, developers giving up so easily.
I mean,
development of something for so long anyway.
Sometimes though you just can't do it. There is always the financial aspect, and if the game like utterly tanks on episode 1, then Square Enix might go, okay, we don't want to pay you to make more episodes, and then that's it. Can't work on it for free. They need people to be buying the game, so tough luck.
Yeah, but I don't know. I could still do a live stream or something like that of Final Fantasy VII, because I was
considering it earlier.
That's my game. That's like that's where most of my nostalgia lies. I don't know if anybody knows this. Fallout was not my main nostalgia game.
No.
It was Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
And while I wouldn't do like a let's play or anything like that, I would live stream it.
Yeah.
And like smash through it because I'm so unbelievably familiar with it.
Oh yeah. For me, it's 9 is my one, because I played them like 9, 8, 7 in that order, because I'm only just properly getting around to 7 now, because I didn't have it on PlayStation 1, unfortunately.
I still never finished 8.
Oh man, but time compression and hot dogs. Oh, you're missing out on so much. Yeah, but they are games that I know both of us just loved for so much when we were younger, and it's a case of I've been doing my audio library for YouTube videos, and I'm basically just drawing from Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 to get like bits of background music and stuff. I've been sneaking it into videos here and there when I can. It's great. And there's so many songs I love from the soundtracks. Electric de Chocobo, that I only discovered like last week, and I'm like, oh my god, this is actually the best Chocobo theme.
They're all good.
They are so good. Something else we're excited for, though, is
Rage 2!
Yeah! Which is...
Rage 2 is gonna be great.
Yeah, it's also, like, just around the corner.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too soon. Like, I'm not ready for this Caedo.
Yeah, it was sneaking up on us. I was like, I got time to plan out and make a little intro for Rage 2 guides if I decide to go that route. Nope. I gotta work this weekend, and then Rage 2's out.
Yeah. I was able to make a thumbnail. That was about it. then I'm just going to have to wing it afterwards. Or wing stick it afterwards.
You gotta use that. You gotta use that as your catchphrase. Freaking cut that out, make it into a thing.
Yep.
Make it a shirt.
Make it a t-shirt.
We're gonna wing stick it.
Yeah. But we also got even more hyped because there was a live stream like a few days ago with Dan Crowd and Johnny Roses.
Johnny Roses, aka Lone Vault Wanderer. You may know him as a Fallouty channel, but he is one of the community managers in the Australia Bethesda thing.
Yeah.
And his name is Johnny Roses.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. Oh my goodness.
None of us can get over this. Like Dan in the live stream several times was just going, Johnny Roses, that's his real name. Because it does sound like a made up name. I think when you first told me, I flat out didn't believe you.
Yeah.
And then when it turned out it was true, I was like, no, that's a game character name. I think I said it's
he
like...
sounds like an actual rock star.
It's ridiculous. And it's so cool.
Yep.
Like,
yep. I wish my parents named me that.
Yeah, I mean, you need the last name as well as the problem. The first name you can blame on your parents, but the last one you kind of get stuck with. But Roses works well with Johnny. Like, that could be a bad last name. If it was Bert Roses, terrible. Utterly terrible. Yeah. Johnny Roses, just... that's perfect.
Ring-a-ding, I'm Johnny Roses.
Oh, yeah. So that's why we're excited for Rage 2. Because
Lone Vault Wanderer is awesome. Yeah. No, part of the live stream that they did was Johnny Roses playing the game, and they were commentating over it, while at the same time some of the devs were getting tattoos on them based on Rage 2.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
which was a very odd... It's very odd, but also definitely fits like what Rage 2 is all, because it's about crazy nonsense.
Yeah.
And they were getting goon tattoos, which goons is the I guess the raider faction in Rage 2.
Yeah, it's kind of like the generic enemies you'll keep running into and just mowing down.
Yeah. But they were showing off a little bit of story stuff. They have Courtney Taylor is voicing one of the characters, and I think they ran into her during the live stream, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Courtney Taylor was Nora in Fallout 4, and Jack in Mass Effect. So yeah, I'm excited to hear her voice again because she's very good at it. Let's see what else was there. They were showing off the powers a little bit, more the guns than anything. There was the magnet rifle or magneto
gravity dart launcher.
Something.
There was like a gravity dart launcher where you shoot someone with some darts, and then you like use alternate fire or whatever it is, and you can just shoot them off to like the point you're pointing at, and you can shoot like multiple people and just smash them into each other. There's like a shotgun with like sound pulse wave kind of thing which just blasts people back, and a pistol which fires like clingy things which burst into flames. It's just really cool weapons. Like, yeah, it's nice.
And while watching it, I was like, what can I do guides on? Kind of thing. Because that's how it goes.
Yep.
That's how it goes when you're a content creator. You're not just consuming.
Yeah. You're working out how you can make money from it. Yeah.
Yep. Or spread a message that helps the community.
Oh yeah, the more positive thing. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Yes. You're full time.
Yeah.
You definitely get a pass.
Now, to be fair, I'm kind of at the stage of I am really looking forward to it, but I'm also not 100% on what I'll be able to make content wise. So I'm just gonna kind of wing stick it and see how it goes.
That's gonna be a good phrase.
Yeah.
I like it.
It feels natural. It's good.
It does.
Yeah. I will say, the guns being quite so crazy actually reminded me a bit of like the Borderlands 3 stuff, where we saw guns with their alternate fires and all the crazy things. And you found something really cool that the devs are doing.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that was a good segue too. Man,
yeah, I keep doing these segues. That's so natural. And you always are like, oh wait, that's a segue.
I can't. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up the link.
Oh.
Gosh dang. Why can't you just do this in WordPad, Sarge?
I don't have WordPad. I don't even know what it is.
all computers come with it.
I probably tore it out of the CPU. I don't know. How do computers work?
What's a computer? Alright. So, the developers of Borderlands 3, I'm guessing Gearbox, is that the developers, they put out a Vault Hunter cosplay guide, and that's just cool.
Yeah.
That's just a really good thing to do for their fans. Because I've seen a lot of extremely well done cosplays of Borderlands characters where they do the comic kind of texture.
Oh yeah.
With some sort of makeup trick or something. I don't know how they do it.
It's
way
awesome.
Outside my expertise, but
yeah.
Wow.
Like I've seen the people dressed up as psychos who look like they could have just walked out of your monitor. They're that good at it. Plus there was Bernie from Rooster Teeth had the Borderlands treatment done to his car. So it had almost a cel-shaded look to it. Was what he was going for with that, and it looks pretty cool.
That's cool.
Like Borderlands are such a really neat and also quite unique art style, because I should say it's not cel shading they do. Cel shading is just like a filter you put over it, but I don't know the specifics of what it is they do, so I can't say what it is. But it's kind of a reason why it looks so good, is that it's not just cel shading, it's something that looks similar but better.
I don't know if I had anything else to add to that. I wish I could cosplay, but I don't.
Yeah, it's tricky to do.
I feel like I have the money.
No. I used to do like really budget costumes, but it ended up with me being like Terminator in the summer and then Christmas Terminator in the winter. It just doesn't work too well all the time. But something else that you won't be able to buy if you're on a budget is the discless Xbox One S.
Do you want to start? You should start this one off, Sarge.
Should I? Me, but it's pointless. I mean, it's an Xbox One S. Man, and that is a real tricky thing to say.
Like, the Xbox Ones.
The Xbox is. It's just an Xbox One S without the disk drive, basically, and it doesn't appear to be really significantly better than the One S, and it costs money, just like the One S does. I didn't actually price match the two of them. Is it significantly cheaper?
No.
Oh, wow. That kind of sucks.
So, I'm looking at it right now on Microsoft's, the Xbox site. Mm-hmm. They're selling the all-digital edition for $249.
Okay.
USD. And if you go for any of the other ones, they're all sold in bundles. Or the 2-controller one, those all cost $299. So it's like $50 more to get an Xbox One S with a game bundled with it, a game that is probably $60 for the expected price increase.
Yeah. So
you're paying the same for the hardware.
Yeah, it's comparable price, and it's just missing something. And
it's missing the disk drive.
Yeah, it's like, I understand not necessarily needing a disk drive on a console. Like, on my Xbox, I very rarely put a disc into it. I will occasionally for, like, watching DVDs and stuff, because, I'm old, all you young people watching. Back in my day, we watched DVDs. But apparently they're dying out as well, it kind of sucks. So, digital media is very much on the up and up, and physical copies aren't as necessary. So it kind of makes sense to have a console which doesn't need discs. I think last time I upgraded my PC, we took out the disk drive just to free up some space so I could put some other stuff in and for better air circulation. But that made sense, because it was actually improving the machine by getting rid of a disc thing, as opposed to just pulling it out and going...
Yeah, and nothing else changed. They didn't add anything else to it. and the games that they're selling with it aren't even preloaded on it, which is kind of silly as well. Like, you have to get on, use the codes, and then download them. Which, being somebody who comes from a rural area initially, where crappy internet abound.
Oh yes.
You're going to be waiting a long time to play anything on your console. It's the thing that's supposed to be, you just sit down and play it.
Yeah.
At least that's how it used to be. Like, I have a PS3 and we just got Little Big Planet 2, and it took over an hour to update it. on good internet.
Yep.
I don't know. Like me personally, I don't see the point of making a console that doesn't take any sort of media besides internet.
I feel like it's something that in the future will be the norm, but for right now, it does seem like a bit of a stupid move.
But like the thing is, didn't Microsoft say they wanted to make the next Xbox fully backwards compatible?
I know there's been talk about it. I mean, they could make it backwards compatible just with games that were previously made on the previous system would be digital downloads.
Yeah.
So you buy them again, which is the best kind of backwards compatible, because they make more money!
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's...
I like having my collection, though.
Yeah. I've got a badass PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 collection. It's pretty sweet.
Me too.
Yeah. They're good.
That's what the station's for.
Oh man, I wish I still had my PS2 set up. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII on the PC because, well, I don't have it in disc form, but also because I don't have the PS2 set up. Anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Let's go on to something...
Pretty much it.
There's something a bit better now, which is Caedo went to the cinema.
Yeah, we went to go see Detective Pikachu. Yeah.
Pika Pika.
Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu.
Yeah.
And it was great. Here's how I'll describe it, because I have been around since Pokemon first was a thing. And this, I know, yes, I am. But also, this is what we imagined as kids. This is how we saw Pokemon as kids. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
Like, this is how we imagined they would be if they were in a real life setting. They freaking nailed it on that point. Also, the humor is risky.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Surprisingly risky in this movie, and I love it. I think it's in part because of Ryan Reynolds being there.
Yep.
But, like, I enjoyed it pretty much all the way through. The beginning of it was pretty quick, I guess. Like, it wanted to get more into the rest of the film, so it didn't allow the characters to, like, introduce themselves as long of a time, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't know, kind of cartoons do that all the time, so, like, I'm not gonna really call that a negative, because it actually got into the action, all the Pokemon you could see.
I prefer movies in general that kind of get into the exciting part a lot quicker rather than going with like the half an hour of just slow character development and setting the scene and then going into what actually is happening.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other things too was like they had Pokemon in just about every scene. So if you were like a mega, because I kind of stopped being interested in Pokemon a long while ago, like on a personal level, but I could still appreciate like the movie and stuff like that, and recognize the main ones, original 150 or 151, whatever. But each scene, of course, had Pokemon in it, and the people that have been following it for that long have that much more appreciation for them showing, different Pokemon, and they would be able to name them and stuff like that while they're watching the movie. And that part's cool too. I like that.
There is one very vital question though, which will summarise how good the movie actually is, and that is better or worse than the Digimon movie.
I haven't seen the Digimon movie in a long time.
But it's so good. Don't you watch it every week like the rest of us?
That's actually... I was wondering if we should have Kite on the podcast, because she would know. She is a Digimon nerd also. But I honestly don't know.
Oh.
But the Pokemon movie was very fun to watch.
Okay.
I enjoyed it a lot. And we got little promo cards.
Ooh.
We got promo cards. Put it up in the Discord. I had a fun time.
That's good. You know what else is fun? Blowing people up with wasteland weaponry.
Boy, it sure is, Sarge. Tell me more.
Oh, yes. So, our kind of Fallout-based topic is going to be the general subject of what weapons we'd like to see added into future Fallout games. Before I get into that, though, I am interested, what is your favourite weapon that's featured in a Fallout game?
Well, Power Fist is a pretty obvious one.
Yep.
Any Power Fist variant, New Vegas went ham with it.
Oh yeah, they had tons of them.
So, I usually go with the Displacer Glove. because when you hit something with it and it dies, it just goes flying across the screen.
That's quite interesting, because my answer would have been the junk jet from Fallout 3 for similar reasons. Because it's not actually a weapon I use that much, or is that good, but it's just stupidly fun to, like, shove a lawn gnome into it and just fire it at someone's face and watch them, like, flip out.
For older fans, the rocket launcher.
Yeah, the rocket launcher. Oh yeah, forget, like, the names and stuff change over time. Fun explodey weapons that are kind of impractical in reality fit quite well into Fallout. Now,
they do.
I was wondering, do you have, like, a specific weapon you would like to see in the future that you've already come up with? Or are you just gonna, like, figure it out now?
Well, I had something that I would discuss on a regular basis during my Let's Plays, because people would ask, like, if you wanted to introduce a weapon to the Fallout franchise, like, what would it be, and different stuff like that. And what's your favorite Fallout? All the time. Anyway, what I would mainly go with was a variant on the Ballistic Fist.
Okay.
Because the Ballistic Fist is really cool. How Obsidian intended it to work was for it to actually be a shotgun weapon. Like, you would have to load it with shotgun rounds. And, like, fire it by punching and then reload.
Almost like, I don't know, can I say Inglourious Bastards on the recording?
Sure.
Yeah, almost like the thing they have in that movie, where it, like, fires out and they punch.
I don't remember too much of that. I just remember Swiss Cheese Hitler.
Yeah, it was like a minute before that it happened.
Okay. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But yeah, what I had wanted was a laser version of that, because we have the tri-beam laser rifle and the metal blaster, which, you know, the beams, like, spread out, like a shotgun would, and I'd want something like that on a Power Fist.
Okay.
Because I think that would be cool. So you just, like, punch the air and it would do the blast, but you could also do a close range and get some serious damage. Also, a weapon that I miss. Can I say a weapon that I miss?
Go for it.
The Pancore Jackhammer. Why is that not in the newer games?
I don't actually know what that is.
Let me show you. Let me show you a little picture.
Can you describe it, as well as this isn't a visual medium?
It's a shotgun called the Jackhammer.
Oh, okay. I was expecting so much more. I'll be honest, I'm disappointed now.
But it also looks really, really cool.
Okay.
Okay, what about you, Sarge?
I have, like, a few different ideas. The first one, as, like, a very quick, short one, is shoulder-mounted rockets, but in a way, there was it? Which one was it? Was it New Vegas or 3 that had the, like, rocket launcher thing you put on your shoulder? But I'm thinking more like an actual attachable thing that you're not hand firing. It's just like, oh, I've got my assault rifle in hand right now and I can burst forth rockets from the shoulder, but with all the shaking and the ramshackle and stuff, it will do damage to me or something. Some, like, cool mechanic there where you can, like, really up your DPS and firepower, but because it's not your main weapon and because it's Fallout, it just can go kind of catastrophically wrong and just have shards jumping into your neck and so on. Maybe your arm gets crippled if you go around with it active for too long because it's too heavy for you, so your right arm goes, then you can't shoot the assault rifle properly and you're kind of wobbling about and the rockets explode on the ground and blow you up, and that's, like, my simple option. My second one, building off the same thing, is that I'd like more armour-based weaponry. Because you have, like, some really cool, customisable ramshackle stuff in the Fallout universe. And in, like, the past couple of games, we've had stuff like the Welded Rebar, which is when an enemy hits your armour, they take some damage. Or, like, Tesla coils, when they get too close, they take a bit of damage. So I'd like to see, like, blades coming out of the arms and stuff that you can use as part of the armour. And as armour condition gets low, the blades might break. So it's only situational armour, and it means you don't necessarily have to travel around with a specific weapon, but you do need to be really on top of your armour pieces to keep up the blades and spikes and other stuff you have. There's, like,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, Pain Train as well had, obviously, you charging into people and knocking them. Imagine Pain Train, but you're covered in poisonous spikes.
Oh.
Yeah, so my weapon is armour, because the best offense is a good defense.
That's awesome. I did really enjoy Pain Train.
Yeah, it was so good.
With the power armor, like they didn't go as far as they could have.
No.
With how the new power armor works.
Yeah.
That is.
I will say, new power armor so much better than old power armor.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just
it's just like they didn't give it the full treatment that the layered armor has, which would be, for one, legendary effects.
Not yet, at least.
In a random sense. But also, like, while they did have like mods that would go on them and stuff like that, you can't use power fists with it, which is still
or unarmed
extremely
weapons
disappointing.
at pretty much any point.
Yeah, no unarmed weapons at all.
Yeah.
I guess because like they would clip through each other.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the artsy reason. They could have had they already promote it with some of the mods, but they could have had weapons like mounted inside like portions of the armor.
Underslung wrist flamethrower.
Yeah. Or watch those wrist rockets,
Yeah.
Something like that. Or with the jetpack, you could fire yourself at someone. Like,
oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Like, right?
I mean,
wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, they've almost got that, because you can have like jetpack and explosive vents and kind of land superhero style on someone. But if you could have the full body spikes on the power armor, because obviously the jetpack and the explosive things, then you could like shoot through people, slicing them up as you go by, then when you land, just blow up an area around you and just like punch everyone to death.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Oh. There's so many things to be added. Like, for the most part, the recent Fallout games have been like adding past weapons that actually exist. And like, we've got the basic laser and plasma stuff, but they don't do a lot with them. It's just like, oh, here's a laser gun, here's a plasma gun. They've added like the Gatling Plasma and Gatling Laser, which are heavy weapon versions of them. But there's not that much like wacky or interesting stuff I often think of when I think of the laser weapons. It's often more like the physical things, like pipe weaponry. It sucks, but it's a really cool idea where you go, oh, well, we're making Fallout 4, which is a whole like junk-based economy, basically. If junk's so valuable, why aren't weapons made out of it? Let's make weapons out of junk. And even though they're not great, they kind of fit really well into the world. I'd like to see more ramshackle stuff like that.
I was gonna say, like, if anything goes ridiculous, why wouldn't they make a junk jet style weapon, but just for ammo?
Explain.
Okay, so imagine just a regular old junk jet, but you can load any combination of ammunition you want to into it.
Okay.
And it would maybe its effects would change based on what it's firing out of it.
Yeah. I see you.
But we collect a crap ton of ammo that we don't use. Like, that's in probably any of the Fallout games. Like, there's some amount of ammo that we have that we don't use, or we don't specialize in using because we don't have the gun for it, or we don't feel like using that gun.
Yep.
Like, the Chinese assault rifle I didn't use in Fallout 3 because it's ridiculously loud in comparison to everything else in the game, and I don't like it.
Okay.
In comparison to the regular assault rifle.
Yeah.
So, I would load in, all of that ammo and fire it off from this specialized gun, and it would do something in particular based on that weapon.
Alright.
Or based on that ammo type. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I could imagine it being like, you put in a whole pile of .38 rounds, and instead of it just like shooting them off individually, could just fire them in like a block, almost.
Yeah.
So individually, sure, they might not do much, but when you get hit by like 50 of them all at once, that's like a pretty effective shotgun almost.
Yeah.
But at the same point, if you put in like half a dozen .44 rounds, it's more valuable and higher damage ammo, but you've not got as many possibly as to spare, so maybe it fires them out a bit slower, or gives you time to precisely aim them, or fusion core mortar.
Yeah, I was thinking more along those lines, like, we could get ridiculous.
Yep.
Because you could do that with the flamer fuel too.
Oh yeah, just have it.
Like, you wouldn't have to have the incinerator. You just fire the flamer fuel in the canister, and it would just blow up and napalm everything.
Whilst we're in the whole concept phase of it as well, we might as well combine ammo. So you put in some flamer fuel, put in a cannonball. Oh, here's a burning cannonball. Boomf.
Yeah. Oh, like the... Oh, dude. Okay, so, like, say they all have, like, a primary and secondary effect.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
and
good.
The order you put them in determines, like, what their effect would be when you fire them out. Oh, my God. All right.
Oh, we got to
We
come up
need
with
to
some
be
combos.
on a weapon design team.
Yeah. I mean, we've got no chance of actually making this work, but we'll come up with the ideas and tell people to do it.
Yeah, but that's it. Do this.
Yeah.
Do this, please.
I mean, could
That'd be
we
so cool.
also put explosives into it? Because, I mean, I'd quite
Yeah.
like to just put a grenade just in the middle of a basic ammo, so it's like, oh, what are you going to do? Shoot the big Deathclaw with some basic ammo. Boom! Explosion!
Well, I was thinking that too, based on because Fallout 3 at least had a whole bunch of ridiculous weapons, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But they were framed as uniques. So you had like the mist launcher, which would barely fire a rocket out of it, more like a grenade.
Yeah.
Or the MIRV, which would fire,
Yeah.
was it 6 or 8 mini nukes, and then
I think you
possibly
could
kill
get
you.
8 as, like, the total.
Yeah.
It was kind of
But
crazy.
but they're just separate weapons that do these ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Whereas this prototype junk jet would have all possibilities available, or depending on weapon mods you had. Oh my goodness, the weapon mods would be ridiculous too.
Yeah. I feel like it should be a bit cumbersome and annoying to use at the same time, though. Like, it needs to have some drawbacks for balance purpose. Because you can't just make it the god gun that uses all type of ammo. It's gotta, like, have some bad side effects. Maybe you can put in, like, certain ammo combinations which degrade it more quickly, or other ones which are, like, really powerful, but also, like, permanently do some real bad stuff to it, like lower the actual accuracy stat maybe if you fire too
If
many
it were a
things.
self-destructing weapon.
Oh yeah, like you, like there's a couple of like ultimate combos. Like you put in a fusion core, and what's the other a fusion core and a mini nuke. You put those two in as the combined thing to just like make the ultimate nuclear explosion. But you can fire that off like twice at most, and then the thing just shatters into a million pieces and doses you with all the excess radiation.
Yeah. There could be a lot of fun there for that. Like, I'd been playing like a bunch of Ratchet and Clank too, so like...
Oh, yeah.
And Insomniac is all about the ridiculous nonsense weapons. Like, a blade launcher would be cool.
Yep.
Because they reintroduced that with the remake for the PS4. Like, that was one of their favorites. And that was honestly one of my favorites too. But they had a plasma whip too, which was also something very enjoyable.
That's something we haven't even thought about, like melee options.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably less to do with melee.
I wouldn't say less. Because, like, they introduced the Ripper,
Yeah.
but Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, I hate to say it, is the only one that actually went further with the Ripper, or tried to. Because they had a Ripper, it was on the end of a stick, but it was called something else.
The sticker.
Yeah, it was a sticker. Or they had Ripper gloves too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think what the thing is in Warhammer that they have that.
Oh yeah, they have their Ripper swords.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called.
Chainswords. That's it, where it's like
Chainswords.
just an extended and slightly cooler version of the Ripper.
And they already had chainsaw bayonets in Gears of War.
Yeah, that's a very
So-
famous thing in that.
Yeah, and like, why not combine those two things for Fallout?
Yeah.
Like, you could just put the Ripper on the end of your gun, just you know.
Oh, custom
job
weapon
done.
combos where you can strap two things together. I mean, I love the idea for like reducing overall weight of having two different weapons, adding in like alternate fire modes potentially, and just making it a bit cooler. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to have a missile launcher with an underslung flamer, because then I don't have to switch weapons if the enemy gets too close. I just burn them up.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Bethesda takes some inspiration for that, a little bit, because like the pipe weapons are one thing, but the different things that those who have the ingenuity could do with those kinds of things, with the ammunition at hand and different levels of technology. I feel like they're only scratching the surface.
Yeah, I think what we're getting at here is Bethesda, please just go absolutely mental with Fallout. Like, we appreciate some of the more realistic parts, but you just put a sheep squatch into your latest game, so let's just go crazy.
Give us the means to cook that sheep while we're fighting it.
Yep. That's another thing as well. I feel like if you are burning something to death, it should come out cooked.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, there was a
just
game that did that. Duke Nukem, the first one.
Okay. That's a really old
Pretty sure.
game, though.
Yeah.
Why don't we have this technology in every game?
If you would shoot, I think it's if you shot like one of the boxes and then a chicken came out of it, you could shoot it again and it'd be a cooked chicken, and then you eat it and heal you. Yeah. Or maybe that was the second game. I don't remember. It was one of the first two Duke Nukem games.
Regardless. Well, we want mad logic, not realistic logic.
Did you see the Pancore jackhammer?
Oh, I haven't actually clicked blink. I will describe how... What? This is... Okay, I don't quite know how to describe this. It's... First off, it appears to have two triggers. So you've got, like, the standard gun trigger on the front bit, and then at the back, where you've got the stock, there appears to be another trigger. There's also a drum magazine in between those two bits. What looks like a fairly normal shotgun barrel. Then an assault rifle bit on top, and then a compensator at the end. It's weird looking, and I don't know why. I'm trying to work out how you pull the other trigger. It looks like the kind of gun you draw when you're a kid who doesn't really put two and two together on just, like, drawing something that looks cool and drawing something that actually would practically work. Like, you're not gonna fire that gun. What? I need more of an explanation, Caedo.
Okay. Well, I can't tell you what the second trigger is, but the part of the description is, though unconventional, the jackhammer can best be described as a gas-operated revolver.
Okay, it's like proper assault rifle size by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Revolvers tend to be
gauge.
revolver-sized.
It's because it's got a cylinder in it for firing, so fully automatic or semi-automatic.
There's also got the component breakdown, which is quite cool. Because you can look at all of it. And yeah, it's got, like, I suppose kind of a pistol grip built into that, and then they've basically gone, cool, we're done with the pistol part, let's build an assault rifle and a shotgun around it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's weird. I approve of that.
Yeah. So that was in Fallout 2, as well as Wasteland 2, and I was so happy once I found out that it was. Like, one of the companions is based on Hobo with the Shotgun.
Okay.
His name's Scotchmo. When I got him as a companion, I didn't realize that I knew he was skilled with shotguns, but he wouldn't be skilled with much else.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that I would get that kind of treat to give to him. Because you have, mid, short, long-range weapons in Wasteland 2. It's, like, turn-based and all that stuff. Anyway, if you fire it, whatever's in the way just dies. Like, there was no... I invested a lot of coin into getting him the jackhammer, and it was worth it. And it's kind of a similar thing in Fallout 2. I think there's like an H&K shotgun that's a little bit better in Fallout 2, but regardless, whichever one has burst fire, like, just use that.
Oh yeah,
and just make sure that you're not firing through your companion, or they're firing through you with it.
I mean, the first one's not quite as bad.
That's true. Also, don't give Marcus the Bozar and then stand in front of him.
Oh,
probably
no.
a bad idea too.
Even I know about the Bozar. I'm like not an expert on the earlier Fallout games, but I heard about how broken that thing is.
The accidental gun.
I mean, we did just design like 5 minutes ago a much more broken gun, but ours was on purpose, so it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, the Bozar was an accident,
Yep.
but they just left it that way.
They're not mistakes, they're happy little accidents.
So, did we have any other like special weapons? Hey, listeners, what kind of sweet, awesome weapons would you design if you were into doing that, or if you mod? Like, what kind of modded weapons have you made for Fallout games and stuff?
I'm surprised I don't often hear about like crazy modded weapons. It's often like much more realistic military stuff I see modded, like, oh, here's the 1945 Colt 6 revolver in perfect accuracy. I see very little of, okay, we've worked out how to fire the Brahmin from the cannon now, let's see if we can make the Brahmin explode on impact. Which is what modders should be doing. I mean, seriously, modders, up your game already. We don't need realism, we need exploding cows.
That's right.
Oh.
Get some Worms Armageddon inspiration.
I was literally about to say that. It's like, how can we put a concrete donkey into the Fallout franchise in a lore-friendly way?
Yes.
And have it as the new raid boss?
Also, the holy hand grenade was a thing in Fallout already, so we could do that.
But it wasn't a big enough explosion.
That's what the banana bomb's for.
I wonder how we could weaponize food in Fallout. There's got to be something
That's a good question.
A pure, like, vegan arsenal where it's made from, like, wood and fires fruit. There's got to be a way to do it. Vegans, please comment below with your favourite vegan-friendly weapons. It's got to be a thing. Wood armor's been added to the franchise.
I suppose.
Oh, there's definitely got to be more. But I suppose I've not got any solid ideas, so maybe we should slowly wrap things up.
Yes.
Right, so, Caedo, what have you been working on?
Oh my, Sarge, I've been working on some stuff. Okay, so even though Rage 2 is coming soon and I'm not prepared at all, I have finished the Fallout 76 treasure map guides. Those are all done. So I've moved on completely from Fallout 76 content. I am done with Fallout 76 on that side of things.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing Fallout 2 guides, and I just finished one. When this comes out, it will be yesterday. The Temple of Trials guide will be done for Fallout 2. And then, of course, Friday was the Fallout 1 Let's Play Episode 4.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to the classics in a very real and doubled up way.
You decided Rage 2 is about to come out, I'm going to go back old school.
Yep. And then, of course, that'll give me, I guess, a bit more of a window, because there's no time frame on finishing Fallout 2 guides. So, like, because it's been out forever. Yep. And there's nobody really challenging me with guide content. Feel free, other content creators, if you want to make Fallout classic guides, dude, do it.
Just you wait, like, day this podcast comes out, I'll have made all of the Fallout 2 guides.
Yeah. But I wanted to mention too that I've been making those things. So as a result, playing them, I have to play through Fallout 2 to get the footage that I need. Because I find out that like there's 20 something Cat's Paw magazines when you only need like 10.
Yep.
So now I guess I'm going to make a guide on finding all of them, depending on your character's skill set. So that's gonna be a bit of a chore. But there's also like the memory modules, which raise your attributes and stuff like that. And rare weapons. I don't know how many unique weapons there are actually in Fallout 2. Fallout 1 had them, just a few, but I don't know if Fallout 2 has any unique weapons, just rare ones.
Just go on YouTube and type in Fallout 2 or unique weapons, and a video by Caedo Genesis surely pops up. I mean, it happens with every Fallout game, right? I assume.
I gotta make it first.
Okay.
That's the content side of things, really. Ratchet & Clank, obviously, has been the live stream. But also been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World. I said The Witcher event came out. Stoked for Iceborne. Want to get my character prepped for cold environments. What else? I played the new Hades update. The beefy update is what they call it. And they released the next level of the escape route. Elysium is the next area that you escape to in the underworld. Yeah. So now you have 3 areas to smash through as a dungeon crawler. And the Hades update, the new Hades update is a lot of fun. Give it a shot. No new weapons this time, but there are new enemies and new bosses, new story stuff, obviously, and then a new joke about ongoing development from Hades himself. So
sweet. I must admit, from the sounds of it, I've been playing a lot more games than you, because I've had a huge repertoire of stuff. But I should start off with
there was Little Big Planet 2 also.
Oh, okay.
I was playing that with Kite. Okay, that's it.
Cool. I can't think of how to start a sentence. Caedo, how what words do sentences start with?
You could say, well, here's what I was playing. Or, thank you for that, Caedo. You reminded me of this one time that I played this one game.
Thank you for that, Caedo. Well, here's what I've been playing. You reminded me of that one time I played Fallout 76. By that one time, I mean constantly, because that's pretty much my job. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76 to get the content done. Like I mentioned, right at the start of the PIPCAST, the Ever Upwards update basically killed me. I over like how many hours in 3 days? Let's say 100, it's probably 100. For like 100 hours, I was up for like 90 of them, it feels like. I just basically napped for a few hours after I'd been awake for like 40 hours straight, then just got the rest of it done, then napped a bit again, realised I couldn't sleep properly, and just went, I guess I'll play more Fallout 76 and get the content done. So that's been a bit crazy. And it has also meant that, although I've been trying to prep for Rage 2, there's not been a lot of it, so I'm in the same panicky situation. And I even prepped a tiny bit for Borderlands 3, and I made, like, a video on that, because, like, I was just hyped. But something that's a bit of a passion project, which I decided to undertake before Rage 2 came out, which might have been a mistake, is Fallout 4 Roguelike, which is a weird series I'm doing, where I'm kind of doing a multi-character challenge run through Fallout 4, not playing as a main character, and I've tried to make it just a little bit cinematic. So that has taken up a lot of time, because anyone who's ever tried to make video games super cinematic will know that it just adds hours and hours and hours to your day.
Yeah, it does!
He said, not sounding at all crazy. Yeah, it can be a right pain. Like, I think the day before this goes out... Oh no, actually, okay, I don't want to say anything because it's spoilers. Now, the day before this goes out, I've got like a mildly cinematic episode, but nothing too bad. The most recent episode I recorded, I had to deal with so much stuff to get a scene to look right, and it's a right pain. So, one thing I will say is there's the exchange between Nick Valentine and Dino, the guy who's, like, captured him inside of Vault 114?
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead, normally when you walk into that room, you just see them from across the hallway. I just had, like, nice little bit where I was able to go back into it, load it up, like, 3 or 4 different times, and just get camera angles of both of them talking up close. So instead of just watching me watching 2 people across a room, I had close-ups of them as they were talking to each other, which is just something nice, which is something I'd like to be able to add into more content of mine. Just makes it look a little better. But unfortunately that stuff makes you go mad, so I've been playing a bunch of games to make myself feel better. Such as Destiny 2, because shooting and stuff in that game I just find kind of fun, but as soon as Rage 2 comes out I'm throwing it away, I guess, because I think the shooting will be better. But on my less violent days, I'm playing Magic the Gathering Arena, which just had an update thing, War of the Spark.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of new cards, and tons of, like, overpowered stuff that is just ridiculous.
We got a deck box of that.
Yeah.
Or not a deck box, a booster box. Durr.
But, no, it's... That game has kind of turned me on the heel a bit, and I've just been like, oh, I don't know. I like the fact that there's, like, really cool, powerful cards being added. I hate the fact that because I don't want to pay £100 to unlock them all, that I'm very slowly earning them, and the people who do just have millions of pounds of disposable income now have just super overpowered deck combos.
They're paying to win.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. But that's life, I guess. And something which I've been doing better on financially has been Civilization 5, because I have a great strategy of just becoming the world's richest person in that game. I build up my empire, I'm really peaceful with everyone, I'm really chill, I kill any barbarians who come anywhere near any of us, I'm like Mr. Barbarian Slayer, I do that favour for everyone, I'm super peaceful, I never start a fight, and then Alexander the Great, he just goes, oh, I'm gonna denounce you again, I'm gonna denounce you. He doesn't realise I've got like 50 million just stored up in reserves. So then he invades my territory and is like, oh, I'm going to send my horsemen after you. And I go, what are you doing? I just bought 20 bombers because I'm like 2 eras ahead of you civilization and technology-wise. I've just bombed all your capitals. Oh, wait, you want to declare peace now? No, you're going to die. You're going to die for what you did to me. So civilization's fun. But after I've gone crazy with that, I go back to Final Fantasy because they don't let me wipe out entire nations.
They'll rename you Alexander the Suck.
Oh! Man, that burn was worse than when I burned down his entire city. Oh.
We're just wing sticking it, Sarge.
Oh, it's a thing. It's totally a thing. Enjoy video games, people. There's too much complaining about them nowadays.
We're gonna see how much we can abuse that.
Oh, like, we're gonna run that joke into the ground within like the first
videos.
It's... Oh, I mean, I might even do like a challenge run of it. that'll present countless opportunities for me to go, well, I could plan out this combat scenario, but let's just wing stick it instead. It's... So, final notes. How long do you guys think it will be until Let's Wing Stick It is going to become annoying? Was it at the start of the podcast, or was it now?
Or was it never?
Never! Everyone loves Let's Wing Stick It.
Yeah.
But, no, is anyone watching? Listening? You're probably listening. It is a podcast after all. Any of you looking forward to Rage 2? Because it's obviously not a Fallout related game so much, but it is post-apocalyptic-y, and it is from Bethesda Studios, if not Bethesda game developers specifically. I imagine there'll be a few people who are like, yeah!
Yeah.
Or Caedo's version of yeah, which is much more polite and less apocalyptic.
Yeah. Yes, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to all of you listeners who replied to our tangents and rants. My goodness.
Rangins and tants.
Almost to the end. Rangins and tants. In particular, thank you, Justin DuPont, for that essay-level comment.
That was good.
That you wrote. We appreciate hearing what you guys have to say about different things, and we might make that... I kind of want to make that more of a beginning of the podcast thing than an end of it.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your feedback and your discussion on the topics that we talk about, because that's what the point of the podcast is, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I'd say if there are any really good points people bring up on what we talk about one week, then the next fortnight when we go to talk about it, we could always have at the start not just a recap, but here's a different take, which is kind of interesting on what we said.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And it was exactly that too.
Yeah.
Definitely and we're not all in agreement, but we still have respect for each other's opinions.
Yeah.
And that's the most ideal though.
Yeah.
There's not always going to be full agreement on all sides, or even full understanding. Because a lot of things I have opinions about, some people don't share those opinions, and I try my best not to rub their face in it, because that doesn't do anything good. No. And there's enough of that on the internet already.
Yeah.
But I started out this podcast, this episode in particular, kind of a salty salmon. Now I feel a little bit better.
Oh,
so,
of course. I mean,
because
we got to
discuss things.
Yeah.
And that too. Yeah. Voice exercise.
Yeah, if you just do everything loud, it's more fun. That's why I turn all the volume up all the time. Yeah!
But yeah.
I started this episode apologising to people. I might sound a bit dead. Always at the end of them, I just go a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see me and my insanity, you can find me at youtube.com/BADCompanySarge. I also tweet sometimes at BADCompanySarge, although not very often. I should, though. I'll send out a tweet after this. What should I say in the tweet? Oh, I need ideas.
That you're just wing sticking it.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, subscribe to my channel for wing sticks and stuff. Why should people stick around your channel, Caedo? Other than the fact pages stuck around for the entire podcast, are probably going to stick around anyway.
Gee whiz, I don't know. You're here, you're already on my channel. I have guides for Fallout, most of them. Let's Plays for most of them. I did some Skyrim guides. The Daedric Artifacts guide is still my most popular guide ever.
Yeah.
And we obviously do podcasts and stuff like that. I do a little fun little bullcrap sometimes too. I want to do the Grudelicious remix and finish that.
Oh yeah.
As a video, and that'll be fun. You can find me here. You can find me on Facebook and the Discord and the Twitters, and I guess I'm on the Instagram now or something.
You got an Instagram?
I think I have two pictures. I have one of the skeleton pictures and then a cat. I've been really using the Instagram. Yeah, if you wanna come hang out and be part of the community, the Discord is probably the best bets for that. Because you get a feed of the videos that are going up, both me and Sarge, and also we have a meme chat. Everybody likes their memes. Well, all you kids out there liking in the memeing.
You're saying that with someone who doesn't like memes.
Yeah.
Unless they're Final Fantasy memes, in which case they're godly.
And then we have Fallout 76 stuff going on and whatnot. Pretty much all there is to me and my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, communities. Those are my favorite thing.
Go join the communities. You get to see all the good stuff.
So who's in the outro?
That was the outro. It's perfect.
What's the outro? Oh. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
You're wonderful.
We love you.
You're great. Okay, bye. No, you hang up.